Welcome to the Epileptic Entrepreneur. Today we're going to be talking about two different things that I somehow merged together or compare them. And, in the previous episode, we talked about four basic things that we should do that's important to do while somebody is having a seizure. So, on this episode, we're going to talk about one, who you need to go see, the steps on who you need to go see, and how I compare that to my profession in real estate. They have nothing to do with each other, but stick with me here, all right? So let's start from when you either ended up in the hospital or you're just at home, right? So you've had your first seizure, or maybe it's a chain of a few, and who do you go see? Well, the first thing you need to do is go to your primary care physician. Remember, these are based on my opinions as somebody with epilepsy. So just my opinions, all right? So please go to your primary care physician. If you do not have one, find one. Whether you have insurance or pay out of pocket, go ahead and do that. So you're going to go to your primary, all right? You're going to tell the doctor, hey, this is what happened. And they're going to ask you probing questions like, okay, what were you doing before it happened? Did you feel anything before it happened? And all of those nice, great questions that will follow during that doctor's visit. After that doctor's visit, well, they're going to send you to a neurologist. And now a neurologist is a doctor that specializes in the brain or the study of the brain, okay? And they will be referred out, or unless, you choose one that you've gone to, or one that can be recommended by your insurance, the location, it all depends where you're at. I'm in Orlando, so I go to the one in Orlando. So what's going to happen? They refer you to your neurologist, excuse me. Your neurologist is also going to ask some probing questions. They're going to almost similar questions, but a little bit more detailed. And at the end of that visit, they might, not always, but they might recommend you do an EEG. That's electroencephalogram. Fancy long word of just a study that they put wires on your head. Okay. Now they have a purpose though. So the neurologist will send you either how can I put this? Let me back up here. So the neurologist, if they don't have them in their specific office, they'll send you to an office or a clinic that just does EEGs, and you'll get your appointment, all that great stuff. You'll visit the technician that will be doing the EEG. Sometimes these electroencephalograms last anywhere between 45 minutes to 2 hours. Okay, for adults, for adults and children, they're just wires that they put on different parts of your brain. Different parts of your head. And those wires read your brain waves, okay? Right after they put those wires on your head, they're going to do a series of tests. It'll be strobe lights, just different types of tests. They're not that bad. They're really not that bad. But anyways, so after you do that test, and mind you, they do have caps for infants, for adults, just because sometimes they have to use a special glue type substance so it can stick on your head. One of the reasons why I shaved off my hair, because it can get messy. But enough about that, right? So once you complete this test, okay, it'll go back to that neurologist, and that neurologist will look at the brain waves. They'll look at what happened, if they're able to determine if they see any irregularities, of those brain waves. And we'll get into the different types of brain waves in a different episode. But that's what the neurologist wants to see, is like, okay, what's going on with this person's brain? And then they'll be like, you know what? Maybe we need a longer study, because these studies can range, like I said, anywhere between like 45 minutes to 2 hours up to 7 days, depending on the type of test that they want to perform. Okay. So that's all well and good. So right now, you've been to your doctor, the primary, you've seen this neurologist, you've seen the technician that does the EEG test for your brain, and then you've gone back to that neurologist to find out the results of that test. Well, you're not done yet, because here's the thing. All doctors, they know about the condition, of epilepsy, primaries, right? But they don't go deep into it, but they know about it. Then we have your neurologist. There's all different types of neurologists. There's neurosurgeons, neuroscientists, and the list goes on. But what you want to do, where you want to go, is find an epileptologist. That's important right there. You have your epileptologist. These are the neurologists. That all they do. Well, it's not all they do, but their main focus is the study of the brain of patients that have seizures, right? So I go to the Orlando Epilepsy Center in Orlando, and Dr. Ahmed Sadek is an epileptologist. He specializes in the study and diagnosis of epilepsy. So whatever state you're in, that's who eventually you want to go see, an epileptologist. It took me many, many years, my family many, many years, to even know that there was such a thing as an epileptologist. So they can really pinpoint and try to control the seizures after a while of treatment, whether it involves medicine or not. Okay, and that's a heavy, a lot of information of where you want to end up. So if I can just give you the shortcut, go to your primary, go to an epileptologist. You're not skipping the middleman, but don't just go to any neurologist. Epileptologist is where you want to be. All right. Now, as to what I do for a profession, I'm a realtor here in Central Florida, and in the beginning of the video, I said, how I'm going to compare them, right? Well, you cannot at all compare a neurologist to a realtor. You just can't. They're both completely professions. Both, you study for, obviously, the neurologists. They're always in school or went to, a specialized school for that particular, field of study, for the brain. And how do I compare the two? Well, just like you go to your primary or specialist, whatever kind of specialist, in this case we're talking about neurologist, when you're in the home buying process, when you're wanting to sell your home, when you're wanting to get an investment property, whether it's long-term or short-term, whether you want to, get a commercial space to buy for, flex space, warehouse, there's just multifamily, there's just so many facets of real estate. It's incredible. And that's why I enjoy it. You want somebody that can help you along that journey. So just like you're going on a journey with your doctors, because you always want a second opinion on something. Just period. You do. I encourage a home buyer, somebody that wants to sell their home, somebody that's investing, whatever the case might be, interview 2, 3, 4 realtors, right? Don't just go with the first one. It's a financial journey, usually a very big financial journey. So you want somebody that's going to be a good fit for you in whichever process you're going through with real estate. So definitely do that. Don't you don't have to go with the first agent you see, you meet, you hear. You do not. It is a choice. Now, the next line, I might get some interesting comments from realtors that I know. Here's the thing. In whatever state you're in, I can only speak for Florida, okay? Like I said, you have a choice. And what I'm getting to is not every realtor is for every client, and not every client is for every realtor. That's just the reality. And whether you choose one or not, that's okay, because it is your choice. Now, it's always great to have a professional to help you along the way on questions that you might not know, but that's how I kind of compared the two. You want to make sure you are well taken care of in whatever aspect, in professional aspect, medical aspect. You want to make sure you're prepared, you're covered, and they have you. You're the spotlight. You're getting all the attention, all the education. Remember, real estate is education. Medicine is education. Well, going to a doctor is educational. So education is key, period. So I hope that kind of cleared your thought on how I can compare the two. But that's how I compare the two. In the description below, what I'm going to do is I will put down the Orlando Epilepsy Center's information. The name, the phone number. That's if you're in Orlando. Okay, they have several offices in Central Florida and Claremont, Kissimmee. But I'll put down, the name of the practice, their phone number, and if you're in the Orlando area and need to see an epileptologist, you can reach out to them. I am not sponsored by them, but I have been going to them for almost 7 years now, and it has been the best decision of my life because they actually narrowed down what type of seizures I have and answered a whole bunch of questions that were in the air when I was younger, as an adult, and I'm just really confident on their method of care and what they've done for me, right? So also below you will see the link, my link tree, okay? My link tree, once you click on it, it will have all 50 states, the information for the Epilepsy Foundation. It's a great resource for education, for your local office. So, every state from Maine to Alaska, you'll have a link where you can press and it'll lead you up there. Okay. And also there's an international link as well in there if you're from outside of the United States. I know I clicked on it. There's a few links for Ireland, New Zealand, Australia. So it's also international if you need those resources. So as always, please go ahead, subscribe, like, ring the bell. And like I said from the beginning, I will always leave a message of gratitude or positivity. And today, this is going to be in honor of Sidney Poitier. I was watching one of his videos in the awards, and he just had the best comment ever, I think, personally. And it goes like this: the fastest way to get somewhere is to go slow, and the top of one mountain is the bottom of the next. So keep climbing. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next episode.